Well, guys, it's 9 p.m. and the Hood Ice Cream Man is just fucking going wild right now. I don't... There's not a single kid out there. It's just dark. It's like midnight dark. It's 9:30 p.m. in fucking Price Hill, and the Ice Cream Man is just going hard.
Hey, man,
listen to that.
Got them last-minute sales to put in. At the zoo, we were right next to the carousel, and I thought it was going to be a much bigger problem than it is. It's very easy to tune out the sound of the carousel. Even easier when we put on music, but sometimes I just get work and I forget about it. So, like, I'll realize I've been listening to this carousel music for 3 hours, like, nonstop.
That's hard for a day, but a week or a month, oof.
I'm sure it adds up. I'm usually only in there for a couple days a week, but it it's like I said, it's surprisingly easy to tune out.
Bro, this motherfucker, he just drove by with the doors of the ice cream truck open. And his dude was like at the window. It's
yeah,
like a
man.
drive-by ice cream truck.
Yeah, he's got ice cream truck after dark, man. He's ready for it.
Well, it beats the drug dealer who wanted to kill me yesterday, but not by much. Not by much.
That's his ice cream truck.
Dude, it's so crazy I have to even consider that in check, because I definitely did. This motherfucker got ice cream?
That's what it was. We're waiting for you to come outside so they can start shooting.
It's the perfect fucking trap.
It really is.
He knows I'll fall for it every time.
This fucking dude's gonna come out and get a fucking Wonka bar. Come out and get a fucking dilly bar. Couple of Flintstones push pops and call it a day.
Oh, fuck.
Welcome to the Trash Cats Trash Cast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And today, we got stuff to talk about.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
Let's put the tiger on the table and yell at it.
I actually have a little bunny in my lap. She is not very pretty, but she's kind. And I'll take it.
You know, that goes a long way with animals.
She's sweet.
You let them pet you, or let you pet them, that's, that means something.
She's a stinky old bunny. She doesn't hop so good, but she's cute. All right, elephant.
Your house is just a revolving door of different animals.
It's out of control. Elephant in the room. We just tried to do a podcast. It failed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the post-op. The post-mortem. Let's get to the bottom of this, and then we can move on to something else. But what happened? Okay. Give us the tale of the tape.
In retrospect, in review.
Okay.
Reading sometimes is not as easy as you think it is, and it's further made more difficult when it's wordy and like a law paper. I think the two hardest things
philosophy and law.
Yeah, philosophy and law for sure. The hardest thing I think we ever read was, what was the thing we read a few weeks ago? That was the bar associations.
Prison conviction by rap lyrics.
Yeah. That's right. That was like...
It was a good paper, though.
It was a good paper, but fuck, man. When you're reading it and like out loud and not just like reading it in your head, no one talks like that. I guess lawyers talk like that.
Smarty pants lawyers.
Sure. Fucking snake in the grass lawyers.
We did a good amount of prep on it too. It's our self-defense paper, and we're definitely going to circle back to it. But I think, because we struggle with reading all the time. Reading is like not actually supernatural for us. I feel like I can get in a flow, but it doesn't come inherently easy to us.
It is actually supernatural for me in the way that when I read, I become ethereal.
Just lose contact with space and time.
Yeah, I just become one with the void and, sink into a state of haunting.
But the real question is, when we were struggling, we both said, fuck it, really quickly, and we've never done that on our research.
That's true. Usually we persevere, and we come up with a 3-hour long piece of recording that you shorten down to about an hour.
Yeah. So
that you make listenable.
I kind of know why I said fuck it. Why did you say fuck it?
Because it was early enough on that I didn't see it getting any better from there. If we had persevered and gotten like halfway through and we started talking about maybe fuck it, I probably would have said no.
Mm-hmm. So sometimes when the fish takes too much of your bait, you cut the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't going to be a good catch anyway.
Yeah. Fucking old boot on the end of it.
Yeah. I wasn't feeling it either. And part of that, I think, has just been shitty week and tired. But if I'm honest, I spoke a bit about it last week. I'm at a bigger crossroads too, where I'm trying to figure out what to care about. Because previously I would have been much more adamant on like, we have to finish, like we have to make something work, like we had a game plan. And I definitely don't feel that right now. And I think that's less about like that specific episode or recording, but more a bigger thing.
Like just a full shifting in priority. Priorities.
Yeah, but I just don't know where to shift right now. I'm more like lined up all the plates and I'm trying to figure out where to spin.
I feel like that's just being over 30. I feel like that started becoming a thing in the last couple years for me. At least more of a prevalent, like, okay, what am I even doing with my time?
I'm always very hyper-focused on exactly what I want. So to not know exactly which direction I'm pointing is frustrating.
I can see that. I've never been in that way. A little bit more, how do they say it? Laissez-faire about the whole thing.
I was thinking about our last episode, and you had said, because I was saying like so much of our value is what we make, what we do, and you were adding on to that and saying, but it's also what we offered other people and what they think or require or gain from us, right?
Right.
And my retort was essentially, I don't give a fuck. And I had been thinking about that since last week. And more, I think the thing I've kind of come to is in the past, I felt very needed. Mm-hmm. And I needed other people a lot. And now I don't need other people and other people don't need me. And I think other people need you. And I tend to see people who are needed feel like they have stronger purpose for others. That's a thing, right?
Yeah. I can agree with that.
So let's say tomorrow, like no one dies, like everything's the same, your relationships are all the same, but everyone through circumstance never needs to speak to you again. Like doesn't need material support, moral support, or communication. What do you think that shift would be? Or how would that shift your priorities? That's a hard thing to imagine. I can't.
It is, but it's. I've had, at least in my mind, for a very long time. I don't like the idea of like, I need you to need me. I need you to want me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want so much to be needed. Like,
yeah, it's not healthy as fuck.
And like, job security is kind of nice in some regard, but like, I want you to want me there. That's more important. In so many
ways, the goal is to need nothing in life, but also when you actually don't need anything and other people don't need you, I feel like it's a weird like gray swamp to navigate, because you're at that point you're navigating only by will. Like there's nothing in the fog pulling or pushing you.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just wondering where you choose.
Yeah.
Which is always what I want. But
when there's no external forces being applied and you have to apply your own.
Mm-hmm.
That's, that's kind of part of, I'm trying to think the way to say it. It's your will, right? It's just your power of will and like the mental state that you happen to be in when you're originally faced with that consequence of like, oh, I'm not needed and I don't need anything. What do I do now? And there's, the plethora of options. You can go off into a, explosion of debauchery and do something that makes you feel alive and needed or wanted, but you can also use that to persevere and do anything that you want to, I guess. It just depends on your mental state at that time.
Yeah, that's the hard part, is wanting things to want, right? Like when you like artificial purpose or artificial want of things is really hard. Like I always feel for people that feel like they have no purpose, where there's like nothing they desire or want, or there's nothing outside of whether it's like school or work or whatever. Like there's nothing that they gravitate towards, because that's such a shitty place to be. And I know the things I like and don't like, but I don't really want anything right now. I'm trying to figure out where to shift to, or what direction to go.
It is weird to hear you say that, because in recording we've kind of discussed you generally have a higher ambition than I do. Of like, I would say maybe not a grander ambition than I do.
Yeah, that's a better word. I want everything, but I don't. Like the Scarface shit, the world is yours. Like I feel those feelings, but I don't actually. Like I think I get swept up in grandiosity or the idea of the feeling of wanting a lot, or an ambitious state, but I don't actually in reality care about it. So I think it lets me get confused on what I want, because lately I've been having a feeling like I don't know how much I care about art either, which is confusing.
Yeah,
we've talked.
That's been like your main drive for such a long time.
Yeah, it's always been drugs or art and it's like clearly been either, but art is definitely like a survival mechanism.
It's the healthier of the options.
Yeah, most of the time. But yeah, I wonder, because like I'm wondering, and it gets confused. It's like hard to separate shit from depression too. But I felt just as passionate about music as I did art, and now music is near meaningless to me, and I can feel those like shifts. You know, when like something changes inside of you where you're like, I feel differently about this specific thing than I used to. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to know why things change sometimes. And regardless of whether it's good or bad, how you adjust to the things that change. I'm not saying I feel even less passionate about art, but I feel something changing, and I don't know what it is yet. Like, you know, we've talked about it before, the Japanese cracks, the gold cracks in pottery and shit.
Yeah.
Wabi sabi. Like, I'm trying to find the beautiful bits of shitty things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's a difficult time to be doing that too. I mean, at least for me, I feel like I have to look close for things like that. When you start looking, like widening your branches, and like when you're not finding that close and you have to start widening the search a little bit, the world is filled with shitty things that don't bring you joy, that don't bring you inspiration. And it's easy to keep that around you if you like have the things that like know what you're looking for that's there, but once that's gone, I feel like especially more than anything lately, it's harder to find that outside of your own circle.
Sorry, say that one more time. Like the meat of it.
So the idea of finding the gold in the cracks, finding the good in the shitty situation. How do we say it before? Embracing the suck.
Yeah, that's apparently a military phrase. That,
you know. Yeah, I saw a bumper sticker with that on it the other day.
Some jarhead driving around.
Yeah. And of course it was on the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah, my AR-15 and my sticker that says "Embrace the Suck."
It's not a Purple Heart, but it's close enough. The idea of when usually it's, I guess, when you have the things that you're excited about and passionate about, like around you, it's you can look closer to you and you can find the gold in the cracks. When you're not seeing that, you kind of have to branch out and like find a new thing, or find, reach out, find some fucking tributary of whatever the other things are that brings you a new joy or sparks something for you. But lately I feel like there's less, not that there's less good things, that there's just more publication of negative things that makes it a landmine. Like searching for new interests or searching for new things on a regular basis is a landmine field of just shit that's gonna, make you feel like the world sucks more.
See, but I don't feel that. Like, all the terrible news stories and stuff are kind of fun for me. Like,
yeah, I know that about you. You're fucked.
I have two thoughts. Here's an interesting question, because it's the same idea of how could we all ever go to the same heaven? How could we have a utopian world if my pleasure is someone else's suffering?
Right.
It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I'm going with that, but there's a point there. Yeah, but it's.
I mean, even when I was a kid, I liked the idea of like we all get our own heaven. I never liked that idea.
It's a better idea than the original.
We all go to the same one.
Yeah. I think something I've realized more and more is I feel like I do really well for someone that probably struggles with relatively severe mental illness more than I think I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like I don't really express when I'm at the root, like at the most honest version of what I'm feeling most of the time, because I've just learned how to appropriately filter those feelings to be able to like exist with more freedom. And I don't know. I think I do it pretty well. I had a couple random things from my farther back past come up, and I can't. It's like so weird. It's like reincarnation, different lifetimes. Like I was thinking on how many of my friends beat their murder cases. And I was like, this is actually tripping me out that I can form a list of this right now. And then like run into random people like 10 years later. And I don't know, you shared a really turbulent time. I don't know, I think I give myself too hard of a time, where it's like, instead of trying to find like where the wabi-sabis, where all the soy sauce, the golden soy sauce is at, is like, shit just like sucks a lot of the time. And if I ignore it and just push through, eventually it doesn't. And you just do it for the good parts.
Hold on to that thought. Do it for the good parts. I had an idea when you said golden soy sauce.
That 100-year-old soy sauce?
The 100-year-old soy sauce. You know how they make like Goldschlager with like the gold flecks in it?
Yeah.
Do that with soy sauce.
With gold in it?
Yeah.
That sounds beautiful.
That sounds gorgeous. Black and gold?
One of the new Sunny episodes, Charlie makes a silver schlager, and it's just it's just ground up nickels. And they all get very, very sick.
Silver schlager.
Like just change in a bottle. Silver Schlager.
God damn it! I fucking love that show.
God. Honestly, the newest seasons, I'm not impressed by.
They've definitely had some off seasons in the past, and then they come back, and it's like they'll have another banger of a season, and it's like, oh, cool. So I haven't seen any of the new ones, but
I feel like they were consistent up till like 10, and now it's started to be hit or miss. I'm like, they're getting old.
They all have their own side shit they're doing. No, you're talking about finding, finding the good in the world kind of thing, or finding the little cracks, the gold in the cracks. And I think you're right that you give yourself too hard of a time. I think you don't allow, and I think it might, I don't know if it's like a matter of pride or your, what'd you call it before? Honor lifestyle or whatever the fuck you called it.
Honor culture shit.
Honor culture. For like, you because you are a very independent person and you do strive, I think at least on an outward basis, you have a lot of pride in that. So in doing that, to admit your faults and weaknesses is inherently harder. Admitting the struggles and give, to yourself, just admitting to yourself, like, okay, I've been through shit, I've done shit. And like, I don't even know, like, there's a lot of that, like your past and stuff when, like, after I left Cincinnati, there's stuff that, like, you've told me stories, but like, we don't talk about it a lot. Like, so like, I know I'm sure there's shit that like is still that you're dealing with.
Maybe. I think more and more, which is probably like the more troubled part, is I care. I would 100% rather feel a need relationship, like a toxic trauma bond relationship, than independence any day. Like, I miss how those relationships used to feel so much, where you needed people. Like, everything felt so much more intense or meaningful. And I mean, I moved away from all that shit for a reason, because it's, you stress those needs or relationships long enough, they almost always end up breaking. But it feels more important,
Mm-hmm. I
miss needing things.
I feel like the needing thing, and this is my own, I guess, take on that just from my own experience, but I feel like the needing, that toxic, like you said, the trauma bond thing, like, it's not, I don't want to say it's instant gratification, but I liken it to that, of like, it's a surefire, like, fire starter. There's something there for sure that's there because it's physical and is necessary. And you both know it's there. Whereas the want relationship, the healthier form of that you, I was going to say, you can't, what's the thing? You can't love yourself until, you can't love somebody else until you love yourself thing. You can't, really be in that healthier place until you are able to be by yourself. You can't, at least I feel that way for myself. I feel like I'm at my healthiest when I've taken some time to myself to be okay with myself. Like, I'm not afraid of, like, like sitting with my own thoughts for a while kind of thing. And I feel like that's a healthy thing, right? Like, you should be able to do that. And it takes time, from some people more time than others. And you have to breach that point. And it's going to take a lot longer than, finding yourself in a shitty situation with someone and then immediately having a connection, or, finding yourself in a, need to have this person in your life for some kind of a connection to something else relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know I can sit with my thoughts alone, but it's the last thing I ever want to do. And I've kind of like restructured my life so I don't need to do that.
Mm.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Some weird guy up there thinking weird shit I don't want to think about.
Coming up with podcast prompts.
Yeah.
Fucking weird everyone out. We got to censor out of episodes.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's one of those, I don't know. I don't know if it's so much of another example of the split between the way we think, because I don't really so much think it's that. I think it's not about an optimism or negative thing. I feel like you've given examples in the past of how you're typically inclined to take or to reach for, not, I shouldn't say take, but to reach for a more immediate action than to bide your time for something else. Which, I mean, is a power in itself of like, if you are on the offense enough to do that, I think that comes out when we place chess usually. Of like, you're ready to grab for new things or grab for opportunities that keep me from making moves.
Yeah, I really enjoy chess because it's kind of a subdued activity as it is. It feels high intensity.
Yeah, it feels like the stakes are high.
Yeah, and they're so fucking low. I played chess on that airplane flight and lost to the fucking airplane computer like 30 times. Like, the stakes are so fucking low, but it feels intense. I miss intensity, and Need has so much intensity inherent in it. When you need people or you need things to be okay, there's a high intensity, and the goal was to get away from that. That's still the goal. I'm not fluctuating on that, but I want to need things, something that's healthy. I feel that way with art, but it's not. It's, I don't know. That's like more of a staple need, where it's like a need, but it's not also a want. Right now, it's still a need, but it's not a want.
A staple need is, I need to pay my mortgage. I need to buy groceries this week, or I need to remember to drink water so I don't get a kidney stone. Those are staple needs.
Yeah, I never think about those things. They always figure.
Well, maybe that's a new avenue for you. Maybe
they always figure themselves out.
It's like the guy that's like, I never have to do my laundry. I just put the pile of the basket full of laundry out by the door, and then every day, by the end of the day, I come home and it's folded and placed neatly on my bed. Meanwhile, your girlfriend's standing there like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So much dirty clothes. Or my one buddy that thought you recharge your car by feeding it piss. Like, you have to feed your car. It's not going to get there. It's hungry.
Yeah, piss. Which orifice do you piss in?
The gas tank. He did that like all the time.
Oh my god!
I mean,
that poor car.
he was
Were you gonna say he was on drugs?
He was, but he was like a state check mental illness kind of guy.
Jesus, fuck.
He was 40-something years old. He didn't know how cars were fed. I mean, if I ran into him, we'd still like instantly recognize each other. He's nice as fuck. I mean, he's a cool dude, but fuck.
He just pisses in his car.
Yeah.
And it pisses in the gas tank.
It was pretty wild. The first time, I just could not believe what I was seeing the first time. It was
it's like,
what's happening, bro?
I mean, did the car run?
I think with pissing, because that's always like an old prank thing. If you piss in somebody's gas tank, it's supposed to, people think it permanently ruins a car, like even once. And I don't think that's actually true, but it does fuck up the engine, apparently.
No.
But you would think it would just burn off. Like,
I mean,
what's in your piss that's so bad it's going to destroy a car? I was always confused about that.
I mean, I feel like that what's going through the fuel line,
the digestive
being
system
ignited,
of the car.
Yeah, the digestive system of the guy.
But you would think if it could,
When you pee in its mouth, aka the gas tank.
but you would think if it can burn through gasoline, it could just fucking rip through some piss.
But that's the thing, is it's not burning through the gasoline. The gasoline is the thing that's burning.
It's exploding the gasoline.
It's igniting the gasoline and it's exploding. Your piss doesn't ignite.
So what?
It turns into steam.
But I'm so curious how that gums up an engine. Like, what about that is actually destroying it? All right, we're gonna look this up. It's like
I don't know how it destroys an engine, but I can see how putting something that's not a combustible material into a thing that's looking for combustible material.
Okay, I just looked it up. I don't believe this answer at all. Why does urinating in gas tank destroy engine? Your urine is salt water, which encourages rapid rusting. It will sink into the bottom of the tank since gasoline is lighter than the salt water and rust out the bottom of the tank. I don't buy it.
I mean, that's some long-term shit.
I am seeing small amounts of water in your engine is actually very harmful. That just doesn't...
Is regular water more harmful than piss in my car?
That would be the proper question to ask.
That's the proper question.
I don't know.
Here's your new interest to focus on is becoming a mechanic.
Dude, I can't think.
Someone brings a car and they're like, "Oh, I think I need to get my my radiator flushed and maybe rotate the tires while I'm at it." You're like, "All right, cool," and I'll piss in the. You ask them, they're like, "Well, have you tried pissing in the gas tank?"
I'll say this, coming from a person who codes imaginary little numbers into an imaginary internet system and it affects people's lives somehow, I cannot think of a more meaningless thing to do with my life than to fix a car. Oh my God, what a waste of time.
Okay, when you say that, when you have, your phrasing on that is interesting.
I just got my car out of the shop today. I felt really good to drive it home, but holy shit. If I had to be the person to fix it, oh my God, what a waste.
It is very rewarding when you know how to do more than just put gas in the car.
The first time you like change your oil, you're like, oh, that's nice. And then 3 months later, you're like, this is not nice. I don't care about this at all.
The next 4 times later after you've changed your oil, and every time you put it in bottles and put it next to your driveway thinking, I'm going to take this up to the proper waste receptacle.
And then you go to 3 places that deny it, so you just pour it in your neighbor's backyard and say, fuck this world.
You just put it in the regular trash. And then
fuck this garbage, man. Fuck this trash can. Fuck this yard. Yeah, fuck this. I'm not driving to one more place that won't take oil. Like, where do all these people get rid of their poisonous shit? Like batteries, gas, detergent. Like, I've never once properly got rid of something hazardous as an adult. Not one time has it ever worked. And I can think of at least like 20 times in my life where I've tried to dispose of something properly. I've never once disposed of anything properly.
I mean, that's the reason they give you a deposit back on batteries, is that you don't throw them in the river.
What do you mean? Where are you getting deposits back? What places are giving you money for batteries, bro?
For car batteries.
Yeah, because they
buy a car battery. Yeah, I mean, like, so you go in and you pay, $150 for a battery or whatever the fuck. The battery you buy, and then you bring in your old one and they'll give you like $30 back.
Like, no, bro, I want that empty battery.
I want that empty battery so I can go. I want that bad battery that I can throw up in the lake.
Dude, half the time those batteries are like 90% functioning. They're like, oh, we got one dead cell. You clearly need a whole new battery.
Well, oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, well, that's the other thing is like after, the so long of like, 4 or 5 years or something, when they recommend you get a new battery, Like, you can just go take it somewhere and, like, they'll charge it for you for free. But, like, if it's actually a bad battery where it's not holding a charge, then you gotta get a new battery. Or you gotta live real close to a fucking O'Reilly's.
Bro, you just pop that bad boy in neutral and
just roll on down to work. Have somebody give you a tow back up to your driveway every night.
I miss needing my car to start. I miss the anxious stress of waking up in the morning and be like, I don't know if I'm going to get where I need to be.
Oh, do you think that might be part of it? Do you think you're like stuck in the house too much? Are you getting like cabin fever?
I do a little bit, but I really don't mind that so much.
Let's be real. Like when you're getting out of the house, like where are you going? Like Kroger? The fucking Delhi Kroger?
I don't. Yeah, I'm leaving the house like once a week, twice a week. But I don't even think about it.
If Delhi Kroger was my once a week outing, I would shoot myself.
But I don't like going anywhere. Like here's one of those things. Like the only things art doesn't make me happy. It's like a need. Drugs make me happy, and outside of that, the only other thing is genuinely talking to people. Like I really do enjoy talking to people, like sitting down doing podcasts, I'm talking with Sam, or I'm talking to my brother about art, or like nights watching a movie, with Sarah. Like I really enjoy talking. Like I can just sit and talk with somebody for way too long. Like I have no business talking to someone that long, type of thing.
Good news, Steven. You have a podcast that's 137 episodes deep
of nonsense. So, but I enjoy that, but I do not give a fuck about going somewhere. Like, ideally I'm talking to someone face to face, but I feel like I can have a way more...
They can come to you.
I can have a way more meaningful interaction, I don't know, like on the phone or like sitting at a park or something than I can going to a concert or doing a thing. Like there's nothing in the world I want to go do outside of my house.
That's fair. I don't know. The idea of hanging out with somebody is like, cool, I want to spend time with this person. But then it's like, but what do we do? It's like, it's like, do I know this person well enough that like, we're going to go hang out at their house? Or they're going to come over and hang out at my house? Is that going to be weird? Is that going to be like, I don't know, like, it's more comfortable to go to a public place where you can do something together, where you're both outside of like your element of comfort.
That sucks though.
It does. It super sucks.
It's like you only do that to get to know somebody enough so you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah. It's exactly what it is.
The only thing I want to do with a person at all is either talk or fuck. Like, there's nothing else to do. Like, what? To, like, I don't know, go experience a place or a thing? I don't know. I value those things way less than just having a cool conversation or, like, vibing physically or whatever.
I feel like that's another... So here's the thing. I go places mostly for work. Most of the time when I'm leaving the house, it's because work.
I hated that.
I
hate it.
I don't mind it.
To drive to a place you don't want to be? Oh.
Well, that's the thing is, most of the time I'm driving... it's not that I don't want to be there. That's the other thing. But like driving to a place where, if nothing else, I'm going to, be around people that I want to have conversations with, not the customers, my, coworkers.
But in the morning, in the soul that I don't believe exists, in your deepest soul of souls, there's no way you want to go drive to that place to talk to your to a friend, right? You want to stay home.
I mean, always I want to stay home.
And then once you get going, it's like fine and you can enjoy it, but it's not what we really want.
But is that more of an introverted tendency rather than it is that's the same for everybody?
I'm not sure what you mean.
So, like, do you and I feel that way because we have more introverted tendencies?
Probably, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people.
Whereas other people, but I'm sure plenty of people also feel that way, but there's got to be some people that are. I know relatives of mine that are like. They go to bed early so they can wake up early so they can get out the door sooner because they sit restless at home like, okay, I gotta go do something. I want to go do something.
I mean, that's how Sarah is. I jokingly refer to her as a cartoon dog, like in a cartoon, because she like she's excited to go do shit all the time, which is a very stark contrast to me.
Yeah, Sarah, I don't talk to Sarah very often, but I do follow Sarah on Instagram, and it does seem like
she's at a show right now.
She has a lot of, it seems like she has fun. She like goes to shows and like has friends to hang out with. It's like, man, that must be cool.
I don't think it's cool. I think it's cool for her. But
I finally just in the last couple months, a couple of coworkers and I have been like hanging out outside of work, and like it usually has been like going over one of our coworkers' houses for like watch a movie or something. The first one we watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. That was good. We watched Hamilton. I watched Hamilton for the first time yesterday.
That sounds very rough.
Honestly, it was very different from what I expected. I'm not a musical person. I don't like musicals. They usually make me uncomfortable and cringy. And I was expecting it to be like a comedy. And I thought also, like, I knew it was a Broadway thing, but I thought it was like a film adaptation of said Broadway performance. What I didn't realize is it's just a like live recording of the Broadway performance.
Ugh. How lazy. How pathetic. They didn't even try.
That lazy is not a fucking word I would use to describe what they were doing.
That's okay. I will.
It was, honestly, I was very impressed with how much I actually liked it.
Oh, they tried so hard, huh?
Yeah.
You want to hear? Here's the hard take.
What a hater. Here's the hard take. A hater for no reason.
I won't go so far to say they're bad people, but if you like Rocky Horror Picture Show, you're incapable of being a good person. You might be an okay person. Okay,
I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
It's just,
that one I get. That one I get for sure.
And it sucks because the cats are fighting. I don't know which one's gonna. It's a cat versus a bunny, and my cat's afraid and got a fluffy tail. And this old bunny, I think, can box her pretty good.
Oh,
it's okay. It's okay. Ow! She bit me. Got bunny marked. Yeah.
So no, I agree with you, and I want to say this: it is a crime. It should be a crime that Rocky Horror Picture Show and Hamilton can be considered in the same category because they are both technically musicals.
Mm-hmm.
Because
they're both in the same pile of trash, right?
No. I'm saying it's a crime that they are lumped together because they are so leagues different.
But they're also just different flavors of shit, right?
So also I'm a little bit biased because I did date a cast member for the live Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Did she, sexually assault people like everyone else who goes to this?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone does. They make the audience members sexually assault people. Each other.
That is. All right. Here's the problem. So many cool people like it, right? Like I feel like we instantly killed half of our listener base right away with this line of inquiry, right? Because
do you really think that's true?
Yes, because half the people we probably like or associate with probably love that shit, right? Like if you think of like cool people in general, I'd say 50% of them love Rocky Horror. And it's unfortunate that they all got brainwashed.
Hold on. I want to stop you. Because you sometimes pull these statistics.
Dude,
out of
I did a survey of 10,000 people. It was on the census data.
And I just let it slide because I'm like, this is all hypothetical anyways. And then it turns into something else. Okay. And I'm not saying that you're wrong.
What would you like to
But I'm saying you have nothing. You have no basis of where those numbers are coming from. And now you may continue.
I think I have a good idea. I think I have a pretty good idea. I think if I went through my phone right now, think about who's in your phone right now. If you called every single loser in our phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Half of them love Rocky Horror. Half of them
can't be true. There's no way that's true.
They all justify being sexually
I
assaulted at a theater when they were 16 and how cool it was, but they love it. It's wild.
I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of someone who's just seen it once, maybe, caught a couple bits of it at a party or something. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't. Hate's a strong word, but I wouldn't hate it as much if I hadn't seen it so many goddamn times.
Yeah. I went to the theater one time for it, and I got very angry and left right away. I was like, fuck this. It's so uncool. What an cool place, A lot of uncool stuff happening in those theaters.
Yeah.
That gets justified as a culty behavior. It's goth kids or metal shows where everyone's so unique they all dress exactly the same.
Yeah. It's all
where do you see the same back patch 30 times at a show? It's all Bathory patches at metal shit. It's all Bathory and Mayhem. Shitty bands that my band killed their band member. Because Burzum's way cooler. But now it's weird. Burzum's back in fad. And he's openly a Nazi pagan. And now people are re-gravitating to that because they think it's cool that he's racist. Did his murder bid and now he's popular again.
I mean, that's all it really takes is you take some time to cool off, get away from the media for a little bit. You come back and you're back on top like nothing ever happened.
It's just really...
That's metal, baby.
It is. It's just really rare. Metal scenes are so, the shoot your local heroin dealer or rapists in the wood chipper type thinking. That's so big in those kind of groups.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not as in touch with the metal fans scene as you. I think you might be the only other person I know that listens to metal. You listen to more metal than I do.
I don't anymore, but yeah.
And even when you listen to heavier shit than I typically do, I listen to more I guess it's a whole genre that I didn't really know was a genre in itself, but the symphonic and melodic death metal.
Yeah. Yeah. I think most symphonic melodic is closer to mathcore.
Yeah, yeah.
Prog. But yeah.
Mathcore stuff is just an aggressive sped up version of. Yeah, exactly. It's okay.
Bro,
this isn't a riff.
Dream Theater without vocals is fucking dope.
I 100% agree.
They have instrumental albums that are actually really good, but that's where it all kind of stemmed from.
Fucking love instrumental metal.
Yeah, but I can't listen to it anymore. I get no pleasure out of. If anything, it makes if I listen to my favorite favorite like black metal shit or like really heavy shit, I enjoy it, but it makes me want to kill myself instantly. Like I'm instantly like, oh, this is so good, I need to die. Like I need to die about this. This is so good, but I don't enjoy it. You know, like I can't put on like one of my favorite death metals was Himsa, not him, Himsa, but it's not good. Or it's like angry, and I can get the anger out of it, but it's not fun listening to anymore.
Yeah, I because I do like more of the proggy stuff. It's more like longer epics and stuff that I make for a good like long drive or like while I'm cleaning the house kind of thing that you can kind of tune out to. So it leads for more of an opportunity for me to listen to it.
I don't know.
So you know what metal music always makes me think of though? Is
Captain Crunch.
I mean, besides Captain Crunch, always. I mean, Captain Crunch sometimes, but Count Chocula more often. But what I was going to say originally was that talking about metal music makes me think of ending the podcast. Thanks again, everyone, for listening.
I'm with it.
Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John. Your music is an exception to me, and I can't wait to hear this final album.
Dude, I'm so fucking pumped to listen to more of that.
Yeah.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trashcast on Instagram for news and arts from the show. Check out Facebook for the memes.
For the memes, if you're super bored, you can check out my trash shirt on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZACX. We got... I really do think the self-defense paper will be good. We just got to do it on the right night where we're both feeling it. But, yeah.
You know, what might be worth giving it a shot is recording during the day. I don't know if I'll, like, not like during the day, but like earlier than we usually do.
I know. We always try, but it's so fucking hard.
Yeah.
I'm down to try, though. But, yeah.
All right. That's going to be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trashy. I think we'll squeeze something out of them stones.
Get some rock juice out of that.
A little something.